reflection off the new album by Marilyn Manson, Born Villain.
He is a born villain.
Came out this Tuesday. Hopefully we'll have Marilyn on the show soon. Awesome track from Marilyn Manson. Speaking of awesome, right now we have her on the line. Former Strikeforce Bantamweight Women's Champion, Miesha Tate. Miesha, you there?
I'm here. How's it going?
To be honest with you, I think I'm in love with you, so everything's going great.
He is in love with you.
Oh, well, thanks. I'm glad you're in love with me, I guess.
Don't
That's
tell
quite
your
a compliment,
boyfriend.
right?
Do not tell your boyfriend, please.
It's already weird.
My favorite female MMA fighter, Miesha Tate. Miesha, we haven't seen you since the Ronda Rousey fight. How's the arm healing up?
Excellent, actually. I'm really, really happy. I was, on a mission to heal up as quickly and as proficiently as possible, and I've already beat all the doctors' predictions. They were trying to tell me I'd need surgery, and I was like, no, I don't need surgery, and I stayed on that, and I was adamant, and I'm really happy because, I didn't have to get surgery, and I'm here, and I'm using my arm.
So it was broke? Was it almost broke? Is that what happened?
No. Well, actually, no. The bone didn't break at all. Just tore a lot of stuff in the arm. So, it's kind of just the way it works when you hyperextend your elbow.
Yeah.
Things tear. So, it is what it is. But I don't know. I figure I always kind of say, if you get one more time, then you fall down, then you're headed in the right direction. So that's what I intend to do. You don't win them all. So.
Look at Nagara. He's already ready to fight.
Is he really?
Yeah. I hear that, they're already trying to book a fight with him.
Wow. Unbelievable. Well, what's going on with Tara LaRosa? What's going on with this nonsense that we've seen the last couple of days?
God, I hate talking about her. She's just, you know what I mean? I feel like she's just not a good person. We had it out about a year ago. We had a falling out, and we went on the Mauro Ronaldo show, and we just talked, and she made herself sound like an idiot, and we agreed to bury the hatchet and squash it, and basically not talk about each other anymore. Be mature, and then all of a sudden, I was doing commentary for this last the Invicta fights, which I thought were awesome, and I got to do a guest commentating on the last fight, the main event, because I had competed against both the girls in the main event. So, I went on there and I was commentating, and I got a lot of compliments, except for Tara. She had to get on there and hate away and, say some pretty rude things. So I was like, you know what? I'm not really the kind of person to sit quietly while, someone disrespects me. So I just basically called her out on it, and then, I don't know. She doesn't seem to like it. So I say, well, let's settle it in the cage.
Yeah. Snap that arm.
I would love to see you beat her ass, to be honest with you, and that's a definite. You would totally beat her ass.
Oh, I would love to, too, I would just be excited for the opportunity to punch her in the face. That's really all I care about.
Well, I'll be honest. I think you're one of the prettiest fighters that was this side of Gina Carano.
Yeah, definitely.
And I have to tell you, I feel like Ronda Rousey has gotten a little bit of preferential treatment from Dana White in the UFC and Zuffa. Do you feel the same way? She was just featured on UFC's Ultimate Fighter. It's something like he kind of did a 180 on women fighting.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I thought he was totally against women fighting. That's what I thought. And all of a sudden they're bringing her out like she's like a princess. And to be honest with you, I think you are 10 times more beautiful than Ronda Rousey could portray herself to be.
Oh, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I don't know about, the preferential treatment. I think that her skill set speaks for itself. Obviously, she's talented and whatnot, but Dana's been really cool to both of us. Maybe she just was able to take advantage of the right situation at the right time. And I don't really know if that was more of Dana's doing or more of Dominic's doing. Maybe her and Dominic are friends, and, he brought it to the attention and wanted to bring her. They can bring whoever they want on as their guest coaches or whatnot, or, people would come in and whatnot. So I really can't say, what's up with that, but, it's whatever. I'm not worried about it.
No, but does it bother you that she's promoted as the quote-unquote pretty girl? Like, again, you're gorgeous, and they didn't put that much promotion or push behind you, and all of a sudden this girl who has 6 or 7 fights behind her, they're pushing her to the moon.
It is kind of weird. I don't know what the reasoning is from that. I guess because she kind of just came out of nowhere, and she's you know, she still talks a lot and runs her mouth, and I think, you know, generally speaking, I'm more quiet. You know, I know that I had a lot more to say about Ronda in that fight, but, you know, my fights before that, I never made demands. You know, I was always just kind of quiet and did my thing and fought my way to the top, and, you know, maybe didn't get noticed as much because of that, you know, but that's just who I am, and, you know, I'm not gonna try to be Ronda or anything, you know, I'm just gonna keep being me, and I think that in the end, you know, it's karma. I think that it will pay off.
What do you feel about, like, the pay scale of women against the men in like UFC and MMA? It always seems like the women are getting shortchanged on the pay scale, even though it proved on Showtime that one of the biggest rated fights was Gina Carano and Cyborg. Do you think that it's unfair as far as the pay scale for women in MMA?
Oh, yeah. We get just as beat up, you know, if not more, when we're training because we train against guys, you know what I mean? So it's like we pay the price, and, I mean, I think this is what I think. I think are just as much of a draw or more of a draw, then it shouldn't matter whether you're male or female. You know what I mean? The pay should be even, and you know, I'm definitely going to be pushing that as far as when I go to re-sign a contract or, you know, other groups coming in. I think that if we're putting butts in the seats and we're putting money in the UFC's pocket, you know, then we should get paid. And that's the end of the story. It doesn't matter that we're females.
I absolutely agree.
With Dana, is Dana what we see on TV and all his videos and his blogs? Is that, you know, is that Dana White? Is that the real Dana White?
I mean, I don't know Dana on a really personal level, but, you know, I've got to speak with him a few times, and, you know, he seems like a really cool dude. He pretty much calls it like it is.
Mm-hmm.
He's a nice guy, you know, and as much as a lot of people think, you know, oh, he doesn't take care of the fighters or this or that, or, you know, they want to talk crap or whatnot. I mean, yeah, things could be better, but they sure could be a lot worse, too. You know, I think he takes pretty good care of us for the most part, and, you know, he's pretty straight shooter. He just calls it like it is. He says things that people don't like, but, you know, if that's how he feels, then he's going to say it, and I can at least respect that. And I really am happy to see that he's finally giving the women a little bit of credit, you know. I think he was pretty impressed with Ronda's in my fight, and, you know, I think they're going to start promoting us a little bit more and actually giving us more opportunity, and I'm stoked for that.
Well, he seems like the good part about him is that he seems like he's a fan. Like, he doesn't lose touch with reality. He's a fan of the sport and not just a promoter. And his opinions, although some people might think they're harsh, I think they're right on the mark.
Right, yeah, exactly, because they're truthful. There's no lying, it seems like.
He seems very truthful.
Yeah.
One thing I would love to ask him this question. I want to know your take on this. Do you think eventually we're going to see women's fighting in UFC?
I personally do. I think that we will, because I think that, you know, really his only complaint was that there's not enough depth, you know, there's not enough girls, and he said, you know, if there's more Ronda Rouseys, more Misha Tates, then the answer is yes to women's division. So, I mean, he's already kind of obviously thought about that and played with that idea a little bit, and I know Lorenzo is actually even more of a fan than Dana is, and Lorenzo, you know, he makes more of the calls than realize. Dana's kind of the face of the business, but Lorenzo is the money backer, and he is the business. He really is the business. So he really likes the women's fighting. He said that a few times in his interviews. So that's nice.
Yeah, I actually think that the women's fighting is more intriguing than the men's fighting. I'm a big fan of women's MMA. I just wish there was a bigger talent pool. I know he said it before, but I feel like there is a talent pool out there that we just don't see.
We don't know it.
Is there any up-and-comers that you're real big fans of?
Oh, yeah. There's a Leslie Smith that I'm a huge fan of her. She's awesome. She had a fight with Caitlin Young on this last Invicta fight, and it was Fight of the Night, and it was just amazing. I mean, if you guys have ever seen Caitlin Young, not very many girls can stand in the pocket with her. I mean, her kickboxing is just amazing. And Leslie Smith was just, like, eating her punches and kicks like chicken, and she was just still coming forward and blasting her with punches of her own. I mean, that girl just must have an iron chin and just an iron will as well. So she's definitely got a bright future. And, you know, there was a lot of really amazing girls on that card. If you guys want to check it out, InvictaFC.com has all the fights up there live. Not live, but they have them all up there now streaming again. So you can watch those on replay if you missed it. Gosh, there's just so many talent girls. I mean, Sarah McMahon's another one. She's an Olympic-level wrestler that's coming up in the 135-pound division. a lot of girls that just haven't got their chance, you know, to kind of shine yet.
Well, you spoke of eating. All I see on your Twitter is you talking about eating cupcakes and everything else. How the hell do you keep in shape?
It's all about moderation. That's the key, you know. I mean, I talk about I talk about cupcakes a lot, and I love cupcakes. But I don't usually eat them all the time, you know. I'm kind of on vacation right now a little bit with my friends down in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Nick Lee and Travis, and my boyfriend Brian, and they have some pretty awesome cupcakes down here. So we've definitely been getting down on some cupcakes, but for the most part, you know what I mean, maybe eat like one, not, you know, 6 or half one, and then I'll eat half one later. It's kind of weird, but I usually break it up. You know, so I don't eat a lot, one portion at one time.
You're disciplined, my friend.
Discipline's what it's all about. Discipline's what it's all about. I need to know your opinion. I just watched this movie recently. Have you had a chance to check out Haywire with Gina Carano?
You know what? I'm really disappointed in myself that I have not got a chance to see that yet. I know it's lame. I'm totally lame, and I wanted to go see it in theaters, and I was so busy, you know, kind of getting ready for my fight and doing everything else that it was out of theaters, and now I don't even know where I can see it at.
You're not missing anything, Misha. You're not missing
really?
a goddamn thing.
I haven't seen it yet either, so I can't.
I checked it out this weekend, and let me tell you, they overdubbed her voice because I guess they didn't like her voice, which I knew going in.
I heard about that. The voice was just not. It didn't match her. I watched some of the, you know, the previews or whatnot, and I thought the voice was kind of nasty. It kind of sounded like it didn't fit Gina at all. You know, I guess maybe because they're familiar with her voice and whatnot. I really happen to actually like Gina's voice, so I don't know if they could have picked a voice that I would have liked more than her own. You know, it just kind of sounded like a smoker, like old lady voice. It
sounded like Siri, like from the iPhone. It sounded like Siri, like a robot.
He said it sounded like a smoker.
Oh, yuck.
Gina Carano.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna hit you and punch you now.
How dare you double cross me?
Yeah, like Marge's sisters on the
Yeah. Marge. No, but the movie itself, the fight scenes were absolutely amazing, and you have to think that's what they're going to be like. But I'll tell you that with all those name actors, and I think Gina's beautiful, and I just thought it was horrendous. It was one of the worst movies I've ever seen, and I'm a big movie buff. I will go on record saying it is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
I heard that Gina pretty much made that movie, though, without her character, and like the choreographing. I heard she had a lot to do with that, and the fight scenes and whatnot, and that she really shined as you know, her role for what she could do with it, that, you know, first time acting and being a lead role and everything, that she actually did really well. The movie may not have been up to par from what I've heard as well, but that she was actually amazing.
Ending sucks. Spoilers. Ending sucks. I'm not going to give it away, but it sucks.
Okay.
It's awful.
Well, I always like it when people tell me that a movie really, really sucks, so I don't have my hopes up for it all, and then I'll be like, oh, it's not half bad, as opposed to like, oh, it was really good, and you'd be like, really? I just wasted 2 hours of my life watching that movie, you know?
Yeah, you'll definitely waste 2 hours of your life if you watch it. It's coming out. I think it came out this week, so if you want to pick it up on Blu-ray, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Awful.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what would have been good?
I will waste 2 hours of my life to support Gina Carano.
I would much rather have seen Miesha Tate in that role. Listen to her voice. Her voice has a feminine, nice voice.
It's sweet and can kick your ass.
Pleasant to the ears, and then you see her do these spin kicks, and you're like, I'm in love. Mm-hmm. But don't tell Brian Caraway. Don't tell Brian.
I won't let him dub over me either. I'll make that a point. Like, no, you're not going to make me sound like a smoker. I will not have it.
Well, speaking of your boyfriend, I know he had some harsh words for Ronda Rousey. Did he get any heat for saying what he said about Ronda?
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, it wasn't directed to Ronda. The whole story was that there had been numerous people on Twitter just kind of bombarding him, like, oh, you know, what would happen? What do you think would really happen if you and Ronda fought? And blah blah blah. And you know, it was more her fans than her. I mean, she did make the call out to Brian, you know, saying like, oh, you know, yeah, I would fight him and his girlfriend in the same day and this and that, you know. So, I mean, she kind of put it out there, and then her fans took it to another level, you know. She basically, when you call out a guy and say, oh, you can beat him up, you know what I mean? Like, personally, I'm all for equal rights. So I don't expect any special treatment because I'm a female. If I call a man out or if I throw a punch at him, I sure as hell expect him to punch you back. If I was a man, I would knock a girl on her butt if she tried to punch me. Like, I would, because I'd be like, you're stupid. Like, why would you do that? You know. So when he calls her, when she calls him out, like, I'm like, well, you know, that's like a challenge. So you don't challenge someone unless you're ready to like really, you know, do it or whatever. So, anyways, that's my personal opinion. But when he responded, it was to a fan, not to her. It was more like, you know what? If we fought, it wouldn't even be serious. Like, it was more like a joke. It's like, really, seriously? Like, I'm a guy and she's a female. You know what I mean? Like, are you really serious right now? And so it was but it's hard to read tone in a conversation, especially when you're already irritated at a fan who's been pushing the issue and saying, you know, do this or do that, or what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? It was more, you know, honestly, his reaction to that fan, not necessarily to, like, threaten Ronda. You know, she wasn't even tagged in it or part of it. You know what I mean? It was aggravating fans. And for any of you, I don't know, it's hard for people to understand art in the life and have people who are constantly trying to, you know, berate you and, like, give you a hard time and, you know what I mean, pick on you and just be rude. Yeah. It's hard, and if you make one mistake as a person, like, you know what I mean, I'm not saying it was the right thing to do, you know, and he's apologized for it publicly and realized, you know, that it was kind of context what he really meant. I mean, it's just hard when you're in the limelight because everybody makes mistakes, and then they took it to a whole level. Oh, you know, he's a woman beater, he's this, he's that. I'm like, trust me, if Brown was a woman beater, he would be 6 feet in the grave by now because I would have found a way to kill him.
Well, speaking of men, what do you think about Cyborg failing that test over there and kind of ruining her whole division?
It's really unfortunate. You know, I hate to say anything bad about Cyborg because I really like her as a person, and I don't know her particular situation. You know, she said that it was miscommunication and that she didn't, you know, she meant to be taking water pills that were supposed to help her cut water weight, and so, you know, but in any circumstance, you know what I mean, it's just unfortunate that happens in this sport, you know, and it really sucks. You know, I think that she was a draw, and she's a very talented fighter, and I certainly don't believe that she needs any kind of performance-enhancing anything to be an amazing fighter and talented. So, you know, however the case may be, whether she knew it or not, you know, I hope that was an awakening for her and that she won't make any of the same mistakes again. And, yeah, I mean, it's kind of a black eye for the sport. I'm not going to say that it's not. You know, it's definitely frowned upon and it kind of sucks. But I actually think, you know, the 145-pound division may have a little time to kind of thrive a little bit more, and maybe girls won't be as intimidated and, you know, more competitive fights, because Cyborg was just wrecking girls at 145. So no competitive fights for her. So 145 seemed like there was no talent, but I think those girls against each other could make for great fights. And get their talent and skill level up to actually be able to compete with her.
I had heard that you train with Overeem. Is that true?
No, I've never trained with him. I interviewed him once, and that's about it. Marloes trains with him, not me.
What's your opinion on the whole Overeem controversy?
Oh, you know what? I haven't even read into all that. It just seems like so many athletes are just getting, you know, popped left and right for all these steroids and whatnot, and I'm just kind of tired of it, to be honest. You know, I don't think it's fair to us that don't want to use it, you know, and don't, you know, we shouldn't be held to that level, you know, because it's not fair, you know, when you want to play by the rules and other people don't play by the rules. So I don't think it's harsh, you know. I think he got suspended for a year or until next year or something like that is what I heard, you know, and I think that's not even that bad. That's
9
not
months,
even that bad.
I think
yeah,
it was 9
I mean,
months.
crying your river, really? You want to break the rules and then, you know what I mean, like, oh, you know, to me, no. I mean, I think it's perfectly reasonable, and it's like saying, you know, like when you're speeding or something like that, you can even say, oh, I didn't know, or this or that. But if you're still speeding, there is no ignorance. Like, you can't be ignorant to that. So you have to be careful of everything that you're putting in your body, and you know, if you're not, then you have to pay the consequences. That's just the way that it is.
Do you think Sarah Kaufman deserves the next fight?
Ronda? Yeah, absolutely. I think she deserved the fight before Ronda, honestly, and I still feel that way because I think she earned it, you know, light years ahead of what Ronda had earned, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so I just think that, yeah, she does deserve the next title shot, and And then hopefully, you know, when I get in there and win a few more fights, then I can get back in the mix and, you know, get another title shot.
Speaking of which, is there any fights on the table for you?
No, not at the moment. You know, I still have to go in and, you know, get all cleared medically and everything like that before they would consider setting a fight date for me. But, you know, hopefully not too far off. I'm pretty stoked with my progress. You know, I did almost 10 pull-ups the other day, and I hadn't done pull-ups in 2 months, and then I
did
busted
like
out
one
30
last
push-ups.
Wednesday.
I was doing push-ups and everything, so I mean the elbow's really feeling great, and the strength is coming back nicely, and I'm more motivated than I've ever been. You know, I feel like I've learned the most from my losses by far, and you know I don't have, you know, a sense of wanting to quit or anything like that. You know, I mean, I'm just like, I'm more motivated than ever. You know, I want to get back in there with Ronda, and I want to fight her again. I want to fight her, you know, as soon as possible. But
how would you change your strategy? What would your strategy be going into this fight if you say you had a rematch tomorrow? How would you change your strategy?
You know, just not being quite as overzealous. You know, I got pretty excited because I felt like when we hit the ground the last time before we got back to our feet, she was breathing so hard, and I was like, man, she's tired. I was like, and I really wanted to end the round on a strong note, and I came forward hard because I wanted her, you know, to kind of second guess herself or whatever coming out in that second round. And I mean, you know, bad me for wanting to like be a fighter and not wait, you know, and I kind of paid the price, obviously, because that's what enabled her to get the last takedown and the submission. But live and learn, you know. I feel like you can't fault me for wanting to fight. That's what I came there to do. I wanted to finish. I wanted to put an exclamation on that round. It wasn't my day. It didn't work out for me that well, but I feel like I learned from it, and next time I'll come out a more refined fighter.
You know, it just bothers me that if this is boxing and you lose your title, you kind of get a rematch very quickly.
Instant, usually.
Yeah, and it bothers me that now you have to win a match or two and see what happens, and it's a little different than boxing. I would love to see the rematch. One of the most exciting fights of the year, you and Ronda Rousey. I absolutely loved it. I would love to see a different game plan going and see what actually happened.
Yeah, you know, and I think that's what's going to happen, and I'm okay with it. You know, I think boxing's a little different than MMA. I personally am okay with waiting and fighting, you know, a couple more fights because I have to live by what I preach. You know what I mean? I don't feel that I deserve the title shot right away because, you know, I lost. So I'm like, well, I appreciate that you guys do, you know, but for me and the other girls, you know, like Sarah Coffin and whatnot, like I feel that she deserves it more than I do right now. So it's only fair that she gets in there and gets her opportunity at the title. So why should she have to wait? She's on a 3-fight winning streak again. She's 14-1. You know what I mean? Like, why should I get precedence? You know, when I just lost, I had my shot. You know what I mean? So she should get her shot, and then you know I'll win one or two more, and I'll prove that I earned it. I deserve another title shot, and that'll happen.
All right. So you know what? We got a couple of callers that are dying to talk to you. We'll only go to a couple. We have Marie from San Diego. Marie, you're on the line.
Hi, I was wondering if you think Sarah Kaufman looks like Herman Munster?
Like who?
Herman Munster.
Oh, that's so mean. That's terrible.
So is that a yes or a no?
I don't have a comment on that. That's mean.
We've got Eric from Sacramento. Eric, you're on the line.
Misha, we miss you.
Hey, Eric, what's up?
What's up, gorgeous? Hey, we just wanted to know, and a lot of fans want to know, if you'll be staying in Washington or if you'll be moving to SoCal.
Well, right now it's kind of a toss-up between SoCal and Phoenix, actually. We've recently been thinking about Phoenix a little bit because of Henderson's gym out of there, and it's close enough to Southern California where it's not, you know, such a long trek. I don't have to get on a plane, you know, if I need to go to LA and do any kind of promotion or anything like that. So
very true. That's super cool.
Yeah. We're definitely not going to be staying in Washington, so that is a no. But we haven't decided. Nice. It will be somewhere in the south where the weather is nice and warm year-round, and we can run outside when we want to.
Nice. Well, hey, all your fans love you. We all can't wait till you get back in the ring. You know, take your time, do it right. You're a smart fighter, one of the best fighters out there, you know, and everyone's so proud of you and what you did, you know. We love you to death.
I agree.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your support.
It's good to call, Eric. I absolutely agree.
We
is me and him and everyone else in the world. She's amazing
thank
fighter.
You guys.
We love Miesha Tate.
I appreciate it. I'm not, even going to say that I'm like the best fighter in the world or anything like that. But you know what I mean? I try to come to fight. I know I'm not going to win them all. I know every dog has its day or time, but I work my ass off every day. And, I never want to be criticized for not having heart, So
do not
I
compare
think
yourself
that's
to
really
a dog. You're beautiful. You're the most beautiful athlete in the world right now.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, let's go to Scott in the Bronx. Scott, you're on the line.
Yeah, I'm listening to you, and I'm really enjoying what you're saying about this MMA and all that. Sounds really nice, and I'd like to get into it more. What did you say the website was? UFC.com, is that it?
It's Invicta, as in like Invincible, Invicta, and then FC for Fighting Championships.com. And they had their first all-women's fight card, and it was a huge hit. They had over 250,000 views on the live stream. So, it was just incredible what they were able to do in one night of fights, and the women put on really amazing fights. Two to really look out for that were awesome fights.
Where did it take place?
It was in Kansas City. Yep, in Kansas City this last weekend, and two fights to really look out for on that card was Caitlin Young versus Leslie Smith. It was a stand-up battle that was absolutely amazing. Puts most guys' fights on the feet to shame.
That's right.
This was legit. It was really good. And then Lisa Ellis and Jessica Pena. That was an amazing all-around fight. That was a mixed martial arts fight. That was amazing on the feet. It was amazing in the clinch, and it was amazing on the ground. Those girls were going for leg locks, for triangles, for arm bars, they threw each other. They, they did it. Demonstrated flexibility, demonstrated great striking. It was just like, wow, that was an all-around. That's MMA right there in that fight. That was an awesome fight.
Well, that's what people want to see.
Hell yeah, it was amazing. So make sure you get on there and check it out, and
I will.
give these ladies some credit because they're busting their butts to prove that we have a place in the sport, and it's an entertainment business, and that's what we do. We entertain.
That's right.
All right, thanks, Scott.
Not like that caller.
Let's go to Paul from Australia. Paul, you're on the line.
Yes, thank you, Matty. How you going, Misha?
What's up? From Australia? I want to go to Australia. I'm jealous. Why do you get to live there?
Excellent. Maybe one time you can come into the bakery because I hear you make cupcakes and stuff. I was wondering about what your thoughts are about people who reckon that kickboxing and wrestling is fake when obviously a majority of it actually it isn't. And has there been times when you've ever looked at an opponent and thought, my goodness, how am I going to do this?
No, I think that's just a wrong mindset to enter a fight in. I kind of think if you're a fighter, you have to be prepared for anything and everything, and we're crazy. Like, fighters are fucking crazy. We're like nuts. We're really, really, really crazy, and so we have to you have to believe that you can beat anyone. So it's just a weird thing, but if you don't think that and if you don't believe that, it's kind of the wrong sport. You can't go in there and ever think that the challenge is bigger than you are. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for failure, So I don't, personally. I really try to believe in myself the fullest and just go for it and not have any apprehension. I think apprehension is kind of
evil.
Kind of the death of you as a fighter. It'll get you stuck in bad positions, and you just got to go out there and go for it. Go for the kill, literally.
What do you think about Roy Nelson's physique? Does that disgust you?
Roy Nelson's what?
Physique.
I find it hilarious that he's like a UFC level fighter, and you just look at the guy, and it's like you would never think that, you would never expect it. But I kind of love him for that. I think he's just, I don't know, he's awesome. Who can look like that and still,
he had something different.
Yeah, and still compete on that high of a level? It's just unreal. I love Roy. I think he's awesome.
All right, we got Jimmy from Sarasota. Jimmy, you're on the line.
Hey, I was just curious. Would you think there'll ever be a day where a chick's so badass put her up against a guy in UFC or something?
Do I ever think that there's going to be a day where a chick what?
Or if a chick is such a badass fighter and she's so good that they might put her up against a lower level kind of guy, like an intergender kind of match. You think that'll ever happen?
Oh man, I know it's already happened actually.
Really?
But not on the UFC level. But yes, it has happened before. More of like the underground fights or like Brazil, like a place over there where they don't have as much regulation. That there's actually been women, and actually one of the top kickboxers. What was her name? Hold on a second. What was the kickboxer? What was her name? Muay Thai fighter. You remember her name? Anyway, she was undefeated as a Muay Thai fighter, and she had Scooter. Come here. She was like 40-0. She had just been smashing girls, and they put her up against like a mid-level guy, and she was holding her own for a little while, but she got knocked out in like round 1, so it was kind of unfortunate, but surprisingly, it does happen.
Wow, awesome. I need to YouTube that. That looks fucking sick. That just sounds crazy. Hopefully the guy's name isn't Brian Caraway. But here we got Ricky from Pennsylvania. Ricky, you're on the line.
Hi.
Hi,
Hello.
Ricky. You got a question?
I had a question and then it kind of went away.
What do you mean it went away?
I don't know.
You
I think what happened?
All right.
Did you say you forgot your question for me?
Yes. Are you
This is like the greatest caller I've ever
Wow.
had.
Are you
You're the best caller.
So Misha, are you
Are you a girl?
Are you
Did you eat a case of the ums?
Are you All right. Anyway.
That's what I used to say when that's what my grandma used to tell me. She's like,
thank you to our callers, and thank you so much, Misha Tate, for joining us tonight. We don't know when you're gonna fight next, but
I'm looking forward to it.
We are usually looking forward to it. So, how can we follow the adventures of Misha Tate?
Well, Twitter's a great way. I'm usually pretty active on there, so follow me at Misha Tate. It's Miesha Tate, and I'm actually launching a whole new website in like 2 days. So that'll be MishaTate.com. So look for that, and there's gonna be some pretty cool, exciting stuff for new joiners and whatnot. So yeah.
MishaTate.com, and check her out on Twitter. She's one of the most friendly MMA fighters on Twitter. At Misha Tate, MIESHATATE, for those who can't spell Misha, but it's at Misha Tate on Twitter. She's an amazing athlete. Okay. She's one of the greatest women fighters of all time, and I can't wait to see you get your rematch. And you deserve it.
And she's hot.
And she's beautiful.
Thank you.
Don't tell her boyfriend, though. He'll kill you.
Compliments.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Misha. We really appreciate it.
You too, you guys. Take care.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Misha Tate.
So sweet and so deadly.
Oh, Dave. I don't want to say I'm smitten because I don't want her boyfriend trying to kill me.
Who's this boyfriend that you're talking
Brian
about?
Caraway.
Come on.
No. You know what? I'd love to see you take him. One of our irregulars, like Freight Train, try to take him. Jesus.